welcome in or welcome back to my channel, Hearing Spirit. So this is the August reading for True Sky Aries. So welcome in if you are new here, or welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. So Aries, August is an interesting month. It is eclipse season, so at the moment we have the South Node in True Sky Leo. It's actually conjoining with the star Regulus, which is the royal, one of the royal fixed stars, and the North Node is in True Sky Aquarius currently. So the South Node could very easily be trining your Aries placement or placements, and the North Node could be sextiling. So this energy could be quite positive for you. The South Node having that trine energy could even bring positive dharmic type of energies into your life from the past, or from even potentially a past life, while the North Node could definitely bring potential opportunities into your life at the moment. So we've got the total solar eclipse and the new moon in Leo on the 12th of August. The core themes are around releasing pride, stopping the need for constant external applause, and resetting your core creative identity. So depending on where this eclipse occurs for you, does give it a certain flavor in your life. If you are an Aries rising sign, it could place the South Node in your 5th house. I mean, you have to look at your chart, because it could be, in the 4th, or even, I wouldn't say in the 6th, but you never know, depending on what degrees. So yeah, you would really need to look at your chart. However, yeah, if it was like early Aries, the rising in Aries, then yeah, it could be in your 5th house, the South Node energies, while the North Node energies would be in your 11th house. So the 5th house could bring potentially children into the picture, maybe even conceiving a child, or just if you already have children, there could be a really specific focus on your children, like spending more time with them, or something, along those lines, which is a very Leo energy anyway. And then having that North Node in the 11th house could potentially bring new associations or friends, or people into your life even that may help you. The partial lunar eclipse and the full moon this month are in True Sky Aquarius, which is where the North Node is, on August the 27th to the 28th, depending on where you are. And the themes, the tension point for this full moon, which is a lunar eclipse, is individual self-expression and collective responsibility, group belonging versus individual sovereignty. So yes, these are some of the themes that will kind of need balancing. There is also a lot of other interesting transits going on this month. We have a grand trine with Uranus, Pluto, and Venus in the Earth signs currently. And we also have Mars squaring Venus, and also Mercury and Mars in Gemini. So those two could be sextiling your Aries placement or placements. And obviously, if it isn't the rising sign that you're here for, it could be the sun or the moon, or any significant Aries placement in your chart. You'd need to really look at how that is placed in your chart and how it's interacting with everything to really understand more. And we do still have some ongoing retrogrades. So we do still have Saturn retrograde, and that's in Pisces until December the 10th. And then we have the Neptune retrograde in Pisces until December the 12th, and the Pluto retrograde in Capricorn until October the 16th. So these are all the true sky signs I am referring to. So this channel follows the true sky chart. And last night here where I am, we did enter the sun, did enter true sky Leo. So we are now officially in true sky Leo season. So welcome. I will be changing the decks that I use for the Leo transit very soon. After I finish these readings, and I'm going to do an 8/8 reading for the Leo transit. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, if you have any of the other signs, I have posted most of them. I've just got to complete a couple now. So welcome. The first deck I have here for you is the Tarot of the Sorceress. And on the bottom of the deck for you, Aries, for this month of August, we have the Queen of Water, which is quite interesting. So there might be someone this month that has those feminine water energies that's quite prominent in your life. They are a mature individual. You know, I could say their age is, say, 30 plus, but at the end of the day, the maturity is also an attitude thing. So, you know, some people never really mature. So, you know, it is an interesting point. The Queen of Water is often a very, you know, loving and compassionate individual, but they're often an introvert and they're very sensitive. If this isn't someone in your life this month, it might be that you yourself are really taking on some of these characteristics in a way, because this isn't the underlying energy for the month for you. However, the first card we have for you is the Hanged Man. So this month there's going to be some kind of significant sacrifice and a need to, you know, really be quite introverted and to go within and ask yourself some very serious questions about what it is you are hanging on to and what it is that you need to let go of. Then for the crowning card for August, Aries, you have the Chariot. So this can suggest something to do with a moving vehicle. It can even suggest travel, and that can be, you know, far away or even local, but there's something here. Could be, I don't really see car troubles because the cards around aren't, you know, suggesting that, but definitely a significance of this Chariot in your crowning card. So this is a very spiritual placement. The top three cards here refer to like the upper chakras, so your crown and your third eye and your throat energies for the month. Then you have the Knight of Fire. So the Knight of Fire, once again, similarly has that outward adventurous spirit. So having that with the Chariot to me says that in a lot of ways this month you really won't want to sit still. You want to be, you know, up early, getting into the day and, you know, getting as much done as you can, which does sound good. You know, it's quite positive for you to do that, especially for your, you know, your higher energies. And then you have the Nine of Fire here. So this is like your Nine of Wands. And it does have potential energies of, you know, staying the course. So whatever it is you're doing, to kind of focus on what you're doing, move forward as well. And also there's a potential for narrow-mindedness, but that doesn't need to be a negative. It's more about your focus and your will and your intention here. And it is pointing right at that Hanged Man. So it is really important for you this month to make sure that you are getting this time to really, you know, introspect, be quiet. If you can meditate or, you know, get some exercise in nature, you really need to kind of quiet your mind to listen for these answers within. Then your central card for the month is the High Priestess. So similarly, the High Priestess is all about that inner knowing. So you really need to listen to your intuition. Potentially there could be dreams coming in which might have messages for you as well. Then you have the Three of Fire. So once again, with this Knight of Fire and even the Chariot, this is another card that can be linked with travel and even international travel as well. It's all about stretching your boundaries and reaching for something more. You know, it's quite inspired, it's quite warm, it's, you know, that fire that's really taking off. It's not like something really new, it's something you've been working on. Then you have the King of Air here. So the King of Air is more of your leader type of character. Could be someone in your life this month. It could be you as well, something you're learning. So the air, the King of Air is linked to the air signs. So there could be an air sign if this is someone in your life, or the air houses. So significant placements in the air houses, or the air ruling planets significantly placed in their chart. And they are linked here with this intention and also this intuition as well. So potentially it might even be someone that you might talk with about this, what's going on here. Or it might just be that you really need to step up and be the leader in your own, you know, intellectual development here. Then for the base of the matter, you have the Seven of Earth. So the Seven of Earth is all about looking at what in the past that you have done and what has succeeded and what hasn't, and trying to evaluate what has worked for you and what hasn't, and really trying to invest in the successes that you've had. And this intuition will also help you here as well. And then the last card for this main deck that we have for you is the Four of Earth. So the Four of Earth isn't the most abundant card. It definitely suggests there's enough, but there is a tendency to want to hang on to what you have. And there's even like a bit of fear. And it may even kind of influence this because it here is with that Three of Fire and the intuition and also the Seven of Earth. So that limited energy, you know, it's not so bad with the Seven of Earth because the Seven of Earth is really summing up what has worked. So it's quite a wise card. You know, it really is like about using your wisdom to make really kind of educated guesses towards the future. It's almost a bit like gambling or, you know, that kind of energy. Or, you know, forecasting, you know, that kind of thing. So that could help because obviously if you know, oh, there's more coming in here or they could be here, you might not be so inclined to hang on too tight to what you have, which obviously is important, you know, having savings and things like that. And then also with this Three of Fire, because it has that really expansive energy, whereas this energy is more contractive. So it's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure which. I think that would balance this out. I think this expansive energy is going to help balance that out. And then even with that intuition and that knowing, you know, if you are too, you know, down, you might not be open to higher levels of knowledge. So that's the initial deck. The middle three cards are linked to the like middle chakras, so your throat and your heart and your solar plexus, and then the bottom three are linked to the lower, so your base and your sacral and your solar plexus. So that's the main deck. The next deck that I have for you is the Under the Oak Tarot, and on the bottom of the deck we do have the wheel, which I find quite interesting because the wheel is linked to the planet Jupiter, and it is about that, you know, good luck, fortunate kind of energies. And currently we do have Jupiter in True Sky Cancer, which could be actually challenging or squaring your True Sky Aries placement or placements. which is interesting because we did have that card there with the Four of Earth suggesting that there might be a lack of some resources. So the underlying energy of was the Wheel for the month with this Queen of Water. So if this Queen of Water is someone in your life, they might actually bring a lot of abundance in for you. Or if this is you, it might be that you have like an abundance of even emotions here. There might be a lot of emotions kind of coming up this month for you. So to clarify the Hanged Man, we actually got for you the Devil, which is quite interesting because we were talking about you introspecting and, you know, trying to figure out what isn't working in your life and, you know, what you need to let go of. The Devil suggests that there's something binding you. The Devil is linked to types of addictions and, you know, things that bind you, basically, that don't allow you to be as free as you could be or even as happy as you could be. So, you know, really look at your life and try to figure out what it is that does bind you. You know, some people have like addictions to, you know, maybe substances. Some people have addictions to even like people or you know, depending on what it is for you, it does look like it's something that is holding you back, that is not helping you grow and reach your higher potential, especially here having it in these top 3 cards. Then to clarify the Chariot, you have the Sun. So what a beautiful card to have as your crowning cards confirmation. The Chariot already is a great card. So it does indicate, you know, success and victory, but it does also ask that you need to really pull the reins in and lead in your life. You know, don't allow things to control you, which is interesting. We had that Devil energy there as well. So having the Sun really suggests that you will have victory and success, and you will be celebrating overcoming this Devil energy here. And then for the Knight of Fire, which was that adventurous, spiritual kind of energy. And by spiritual, I do mean passionate, you know, out there, a go-getter, you know, that kind of energy. So this could be someone in your life this month, but it could also be you because Aries, you are a fire sign. So the Knight is generally of the ages of, say, 18 to mid-30s age range. You know, they are fully mature, but not, you know, at that king level of maturity yet. And they are being clarified here today with the Page of Cups. So the pages can represent children. And if it is a child, they could be of the water signs or significant placements in the water houses or the ruling planets of the water signs, you know, significantly placed in their chart. But doesn't have to be. So yeah, normally the page is like child age up to 18. And they're often quite emotionally, you know, quite innocent. Quite new to emotions, and you know, they're really kind of awakening to the world, so they've got a very fresh perspective. It can also suggest temptation in love, so it could be like a new love coming in, which could even be this Knight of Fire, or it could be a new love coming in for the Knight of Fire if that is you. Then you have, to clarify the 9 of Fire here, you have the 8 of Cups. So the 8 of Cups definitely does indicate that you are moving on from something, you know, and whether that is something that didn't work out or even did, it's something you're just moving on from, and you actually need that for your own emotional completeness. You really need to move forward. So that Knight of Fire was all about that focusing your intention, focusing your will. So it was that wand energy, and even being a bit narrow-minded. So there's something that you're walking away from, and it could even be, I mean, it is linked here with this Devil card, so it's something that's been binding you that you need to let go of. Then for the High Priestess, you have the Tower, which is a really powerful combination to have at the center of your reading for this month. So it's going to be a really significant month for you. The Tower is often linked to Uranus. It has a very sudden energy, and it's also suggests a massive change, an upheaval, like a revolutionary type of energy. And here we have it with the High Priestess. So to me, it is saying that on some level, I think you're aware that this is happening or has happened. Maybe you might have even dreamed of it. There might be signs that you've gotten and you have a sense of knowing about it. But obviously, there's nothing you can do. You just need to do the best you can to move on, because this is saying it's really important for your emotional health to move on from this. And this one as well is saying to let it go, you know, whatever it is that's binding you. And then here with this Three of Fire, you have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is, if it's someone new coming in, or even someone that's just in your life, they don't have to be new. They could be of the earth signs or earth houses, or have significant earth planet placements in their chart. And they do have resources. They're quite comfortable. The Queen of Pentacles is like your earth mother kind of archetype. So she often has children. She's often very fertile. She'll often be into cooking and having a garden and, you know, all these kinds of earthly pursuits. She may even know how to, you know, massage the body, or, you know, very down to earth kind of skills that she has. She could even be good at making things with her hands, potentially even like clothing, or definitely making a space comfortable, you know, those kinds of energies. So this could be someone coming in, but because it's to clarify the Three of Fire, to me it's suggesting that this doesn't have to be a female, but it has feminine energies here. It's the Queen. But this Queen is helping you to expand yourself into this new material reality. So she has this abundant aspects, and she's really helping encourage you into a better place, basically. Then for the King of Air here at the bottom, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So we've had the Seven of Pentacles twice so far. So this is a significant card for you this month. And it is once again about looking at past decisions and how they have worked for you or not, and deciding, you know, what to do in the future from that learning. And having that King of Air, which was all about being that intellectual leader, and it could even be a person. So it could be someone you know, or you know, even someone part of your family or a friend or something like that. This king doesn't have to be you, but yeah, there's definitely, so it's someone maybe that you've been quite intimately involved in, if you can look at their decision making and establish a pattern or something from it. You know, generally this is not someone that you don't know very well to be able to do that, but it could just be you. It could be you being that leader in your life and really trying to use your mind to get ahead, basically. And then once again for the Seven of Earth, which is your base of the matter for the month of August, then you have to clarify with the Page of Swords. So once again, the page could be a child, but it doesn't have to be. It's a new energy. It's a young energy. And the Swords is of the air. So if it is an individual, they could be of the air signs or houses, air houses, or the ruling air planets, you know, significantly placed in their chart. If not, it could be just saying that often the Page of Swords can bring a message, and often it can be a message of truth as well. So you may receive a message of truth about these past financial experiences you've had in what it is. So maybe if you have been, say, investing or whatever it is you've been doing with your money, you might actually receive a message about, you know, how well that's doing or not, or something like that. And that could really help base your decisions on what to do in the future. And then for the Four of Earth here, which was about that kind of hanging on to your money and being really aware, and not just money, but your resources, being really aware of what you do have and how far it'll stretch, and potentially being a little bit, I think it's miserly with it. You have the Knight of Pentacles to clarify. So to me, that is saying there isn't a lack of resources here. There's definitely enough. There could be an individual again, the Knight. So they could be of the, say, 18 to 35 age range. And here it has a female. It could be a female, could be a young female, but doesn't have to be. And they could be of the earth signs again, or earth houses, or the earth ruling planets, significant in their chart. And here with the Knight, it does suggest that often they are quite fast moving, so it could involve a bit of a journey, or maybe they are on a bit of a journey. But the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the tarot, so whatever it is that you are working on, it's going to take some time. In fact, I wouldn't suggest that it will end this month. Having that as the last card here with the Four of Earth and the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like those two cards here are kind of clarifying that nearing the end of the month, it's going to slow down a little bit. But it definitely does bring more abundance to it from that Four of Earth, which wasn't the most abundant place to start. The Knight of Pentacles definitely has a lot more. So the next deck that I'm going to use for you is the Mists of Avalon Oracle, and on the bottom of the deck we have Rhiannon, and her energies are around integrity, perseverance, endurance, and focus. Interesting with the focus, because we did have that focus come up with that Nine of Fire. The first card, however, your crowning card, is the Sacred Grove, and its energies are around longevity, protection, nature, and renewal. So that's for the Chariot with the Sun. And then your central card is Lancelot, which is linked with chivalry, heroism, devotion, and romance. So it sounds like this month is going to be some romance. Interesting with this High Priestess and the Tower, though. Yeah. I mean, you don't really know who someone is until you go through some hard times. That definitely is there. I mean, I'm seeing this tower burning and I'm thinking, you know, it's when you go through the hard times you kind of really know who is there for you, isn't it? You know, these testing times. Then for the base of the matter, the energies are around triumph, purity, courage, and surrender. And that's for this Seven of Earth with the Page of Swords. So there's some kind of success. You're going to, you know, there's triumph here. There is surrender and there is courage. The next cards I have for you are the Shaman's Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck, I have the Dancer of Reconciliation. So the interpretations are balance restored, anger dissolved, restitution of wrongs, inner certainty, resolving doubt and confusion, strengthening bonds, bringing harmony, and peacemaking. So that's the underlying energies of the month for you. The crowning card for you is the Ancestor of Hope. That's lovely with the Sacred Grove. The central card is the Shaman of Loss, and that's with Lancelot. And then the base of the matter is the Hunter of Gifts, and that's with Galahad. So for the the crowning card here, the Ancestor of Hope. So the meanings are hope in the darkest hour, support and generosity, the ability to see beyond trials, the strength to seek a positive outcome, energy to move forward. While the central card is the Shaman of Loss, which says rediscovery of forgotten truths, loss and gain, restoration, balance, coming to terms with loss, endurance, acknowledging who we are, allowing things to pass onward. So there's some kind of loss this month, which it was suggesting with that Eight of Cups and even the Hanged Man, but also some gain as well. Then the base of the matter here is the Hunter of Gifts, which suggests inner gifts, recognizing our skills and values, the flowering of imagination, discovering your potential, finding your way, valuing truth, using skills and talents. The next cards that I have for you for the month of August are the Ancestral Oracle of the Celts. And on the bottom of the deck we have the Brehon. Exercise careful judgment by deciding how justice is best served in this matter. This means expanding your vision beyond your concerns and seeing how it affects the world around you. If you need to reach an important decision, sit quietly to find the point of balance. I see things as they truly are and balance justice with mercy. So that's the underlying energies there. And then for the crowning card, you have the Tanasti. I think that's how you say it. Tanasta. Stay. The Fosterer for the central card, Heart of the Matter. And then the base of the matter is the Poet. So for the crowning card, the Tanasti. It is tiresome, waiting to be of service, longing for the time when your gifts can be used at last, testing your mettle, ensuring that you are not resting on your merits. Give respect to all, close ties require service to stay healthy. I bring harmony where imbalance has ruled for too long. And that's linked with the Ancestor of Hope. Then the central card is the Fosterer. You are being asked to foster something that was first developed by someone else. Take pride in how you bring it on. If you want to learn the skills, apply to the experts. There is a formidable agenda attached to what you've taken on, but you can get there. I impart the teachings to all who will learn of me. And that's linked with this Shaman of Loss. And then the base of the matter is the Poet. It is important to nourish your soul, mind, and heart with whatever brings you inspiration. Your ability to empathize or to imagine walking in another's shoes will be of great benefit. Find the common points of interest so you can build strong links. I refresh the closed heart with the source of inspiration. So the last deck that I have for you for the month of August, Aries, is the Moon Witch Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck we have Sun, which suggests that you find a balance. The crowning card is Sign. If you're looking for a sign, here it is. The central card is Crescent Moon. Keep moving forward, you've got this. And the base of the matter is the Balsamic Moon. Things come and go, surrender to the universe. So, True Sky Aries, I hope you have a fantastic month ahead. It's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, it's a bit more heightened than normal due to it being the eclipse season, and then also having the Sun in True Sky Leo, which is always quite a prominent transit for the Sun as well. So if you've made it this far and you got anything out of the reading, even if it was just, you know, entertaining or you know, educational in any way, if you could comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you for subscribing, and also thank you for returning, and thank you for all the wonderful likes and comments that I've gotten, and new subscribers, and the old subscribers. I'm really excited about the growth for this channel, and I hope you have a wonderful month ahead, Aries. I think it will be quite a good one, having the eclipse potentially, you know, trining and sextiling your Aries placement here. So take care and bye.